Hello, hello. Hi everybody. I'm Debdoot. I'm currently pursuing an MBA at IIM Calcutta. I gave CAT in 2019 and I scored a 99.76 percentile. I'll be walking you through the question paper and giving an idea on what questions I selected and why I did that. So you can ask me, keep on asking me questions during the video, and you can ask me later also at around 5:30 if you want. So I'll start by sharing my screen. So I downloaded this from the internet because I couldn't find my own response sheet. Uh, During the VARC section, am I audible? Okay, so for the VRC section, I had planned to attempt all of the questions. So, uh, if you see for the VRC section, I plan to attempt all the questions. So I wanted to like attempt every question. So I started with RC first, and then I plan to go to the other sections. The thing is that I didn't obviously know that PRC was much tougher this year compared to other years. So I tried. There was one passage I remember about British colonists, I think. Uh, yes, this one. There was the one passage about British colonial policy. So, uh, yes, my CAT score was 19.76 percentile. That's around 182.8. Uh, and so as I was saying, the this one on British colonial policy, this was a hard passage according to me. And there was one question in this passage which I left out because the answers to RC is obviously plus 3 minus 1. So doing one wrong answer can mean minus 4 from your total score, right? So I left out one of the questions from this one. I think it was question number 17, I think. The thing is that for most of the RC questions, you would see that it's always a choice between two close options, and one of them is more right and one of them is less right. So it's a bit risky to choose one of them. So you can leave out one or two. But the thing is that I would say if you are good at VRC, you should try to do all the questions if time permits. And after that there was the yes, one thing for summary, try to attempt all the summary questions. In my opinion, summaries are the easiest in VRC section. Okay, so then the thing about summaries is you just have to decide like there would be obviously four options, and one of them would you just think from the perspective of the author that whether the author would be satisfied if you chose that one. Like if you are the author, would that line be satisfactory to you if someone wanted to say about the passage. After that, that was more or less what I did in VARC. And the thing is that after that, the I'll go to the LRDI. I won't talk much about the LRDI part because one thing I forgot about parajumbles. Parajumbles were relatively easy this year because most of them, if you look, most of them had connecting words like that and all. So they were relatively easier compared to the other papers I saw. And yes, so after that, I'll move on to LRDI. I don't have much to speak about LRDI because I perform very bad in LRDI. First of all, whenever I try to attempt LRDI, I look out for DI sets and try to complete them. So I found the two DI sets. So one was the store sale revenue one, and uh, there was another one about uh, yeah, this was the revenue one. I did this one, and there was another one. The order of attempting in VRC, I prefer first doing RC and then doing the summary and finally the parajumbles. The thing is that for VRC, I do RC in the beginning because I usually have set times to complete the RC. First, usually I would complete the reading the passage in say 10 minutes or so, and then attempt the questions, and then go to the next passage like that. The reason is that if you have some time left at the end and you have two or more passages to read, I don't think you can do them that fast, right? So that's why I usually would prefer doing RC first, then summary, and then the parajumbles. Because in case of parajumbles, even if you do make a wrong, do take a wrong decision, but still you won't be penalized for negative marks, but penalized for a wrong answer. Uh, yes, for LRDI, this I did this one, and there was another about rainfall. I think I can't. Yes, this rainfall. So I completed only these two, and I completed these two within the first 10 minutes. But the thing is that I hadn't practiced for CAT that year, because as it's mentioned, I left preparation by the second year. So the thing is that I was able to do only these two, and I couldn't do any of the sets for the rest of the 50 minutes. So one thing I would suggest you to not do is panic, because what happened to me is that when in the first 20 minutes I saw that I had only finished these two, I started looking at the other people and saw that they had already completed a lot of those, like those green dots you see. So I saw most of them had those green dots filled one after the other. So I would say that you should not panic, because I think that's what made me feel that since I had not practiced, I would probably not be able to do that. So to select sets, I would say first do the DI sets, like try to find the sets where data interpretation is there and try to complete them as fast as possible. Because you would see that, like in 2000, if you check 2018 paper also, one or two sets are there in each slot where it's purely data interpretation. So just calculating would do, that's it. You don't need logic and all. For the other six sets, now this year it would be changed, I think, because of the 40 minutes time. For the other sets, it's usually you need some logic, so I would keep them for solving towards the end. Towards the beginning, try to solve the DI sets as fast as you can, if you can recognize them. And for selection of the sets, I won't be able. Yeah, DI sets are comparatively easier. For the other ones, I can't say much because I couldn't do any, right? And another thing to remember is, if you can't do much, don't fret about it so much that it affects the other section, your performance in the other sections also. Just keep in mind that you only need to, a DI does take a lot of time, but the thing is that DI is pretty straightforward. So if you use the calculator properly, you can do DI in much less time. And in case of LRD, you have to draw up the cases and also if this case and that case. So that's what what I'm saying is DI is straightforward. So you don't need to think much about DI. That's my opinion. In 2019 paper, I attempted only two sets: the revenue one and the rainfall one. That's it. I couldn't attempt the others, as I said. I didn't have much practice at that time. Uh, for so for that's it. And for the QA part, QA usually look for 40 minutes. Three sets attempt would be. I can't say what the ideal attempt would be because it might be that that year the paper is relatively easy compared to previous years, or it's relatively hard compared to previous years. So uh, I can't obviously say that doing three sets would be okay. Try to do as many sets as possible. Like if you have if you have say what can I say, like you have 10 minutes left and you can complete one set, then obviously complete one set. It's not like okay, I've done three sets, I won't do anymore. Do as many sets as you can. In LRDI section, I scored 24. That scaled up to around 26, I think. So I did eight sets. I mean, two sets. So that's eight questions, and that's it's 24, and that's scaled up to 26. My percentile in LRDI was 82 or 84 percentile. I think it was 82 percentile. And so keep in mind that each IIM has a cutoff percentile for each section. So that has to be cleared. If you have cleared that, then don't worry about your performance in only just one section. Try to get a high score overall. Okay. So for IIM Calcutta, it's 80%. I think for IIM Ahmedabad, it's 75% or so. And for IIM Lucknow and all, I think it's 90%. So that I wouldn't have qualified for IIM Lucknow and all with 82 percentile in LRDI. And that's it. And so for the LR part, I think a lot of them were easier this year compared to I mean in 2019 compared to 2018. So if you practice a lot, you won't find them that much intimidating compared to what you would think if you had seen them for the first time. Like for example, this one, the players one was a very common sports and games problem. So uh, section wise scores and percentile, I just let me check for once. I think my section wise scores was um I'll check it once. For an ideal score would be an ideal score would be as much as you can score, because every year it varies, as I was saying. So for in I am talking about the 3 hour test. So 1 year, say in 2017, a 200 would fetch you say 99.5 percentile, while in 2018 or 19 182 would even in 2019 one I got to 182 and got 99.76, while I think in 2018 getting a 180 would even fetch you 99.9 or something like that. And about I'll just want to just give me some time. I'll check my cat scorecard once again. uh, and an ideal score for baby IMs, try to get an idea about the composite score for which they called the last person the previous year. it usually happens is that most of the years someone files an RTI to get the uh, look for, yeah, someone files an RTI to get the last score. So you can calculate your the percentile required from that and your 10 and 12 marks or grade marks. I'm going to QA. Just let me find my scorecard. What should be the minimum score for IMC for engineers? So in my year, I think that and the last call was at around 99.65 percentile for fresher gems. And once you get a call, converting it depends on your interview completely. At that point of time, the cat score becomes uh, almost like it becomes negligible to its contribution. Yes, I found my scorecard. So my scaled score in VRC was 80.55 with a sectional percentile of 99.94. LRDI, the scaled score was 26.17 with a percentile of 83.48. And QA, the scaled score was 76.08 and a percentile of 19.81. Uh, for talking about speed maths, no, I didn't use speed maths in the exam because I we already have a calculator there. But I think that if you can use speed maths, it's helpful because the calculator you have to use the mouse to use a calculator, right? So that becomes time consuming compared to using the keyboard. So if you already know speed maths, I would say go for it because it's really helpful. But if you don't worry too much about it. And I have recent IMC look for engineers the most. Is it true? No, it's not true. IMC, if you check out IMC's website, you would notice that they do have a provision of 8% extra marks for non 4% extra marks for non-engineers, or is it 8%? I'm not sure. So no, it's not that they want to look for engineers the most. IMC, the thing about IMC and their selection pattern is that they don't worry about your undergrad marks. And for your 10 and 12, just getting above 80 is it. You get 10 out of 10. And did you listen to slot one analysis before your slot? No, I didn't listen to slot one analysis because in our time it was like the first slot was from 9 to 12 and the second slot was from 2:30, I think, and you had to get in by one. So we didn't have much time to listen. Like I'm kind of average in all three. Yeah, good. That's fine if you're kind of average in all three sections. Because if you're weak in one, what I wanted to say is if you're weak in one section, you don't have to worry much about it. Try to pull your score up using the other two sections. Okay, so coming to QA. QA, I think I attempted around 25 questions, and I think I got uh, two questions wrong, I think, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so QA, the thing is that for QA, an idea I thought to use was first, you can waste five. I'm using the word waste. The thing is that you can use 5 minutes to just go through the questions and get a feel about which questions are easy and which questions are tough. So as someone mentioned that a lot of non-engineers take the exam, so there are questions which are relatively easy in QA, so you can try to solve them first. So using that 5 minutes you can get an idea, but since the exam is of 40 minutes this year, I wouldn't recommend doing that because uh, let's be real, like 5 minutes out of 40 minutes is around 12.5% of the time, so it's expensive, right? But I would have done that in my time. So and for QA, tried to finish as many questions as possible. Okay, So and for QA, if you practice a lot, at some point of time using the calculator becomes muscle memory. So if let's take the example of let me give an example. So for example, it's let's take Q3. Okay, so cyclist if they 5. This is an easy question. Like Q3 was an easy question. Let me take some question which is a bit tougher. Let FPF function size. I want to show a question where using the calculator is needed or is beneficial. Acha, this one, how many factors of are perfect square is greater than 1? Okay, so if you see Q1, you don't even need a calculator to do this one. Like they only require perfect squares. So you take the powers with an even number on the index, and that's it. And then you try to use any say multinomial theorem or anything to get an idea. So this one doesn't even like you get a calculator. I want to find yes, this one for Q4 when you are calculating the total surface area, you can just go on typing those punching in those numbers in your calculator while you are reading the question. My how to choose which college? I passed out of Rayabaja Science College in Calcutta University. How to choose between B and C? Sorry, B and C. It depends. Like uh, you have to look at the companies coming to both the colleges and what the campuses are and what are your preferences, right? Then in 1080 plus and 1278, will it be any problem? Well, I would say it depends from college to college. Check out the colleges, how the colleges calculate the composite scores, and you would get an idea. Okay, and quantitative ability. Let A be a real number. Yes, I would have done this question also. The questions I would have avoided at the first glance would be uh, a lot of the times you can just look at the for example I was a bit weak in those geometry sections because I had forgotten most of geometry. uh, I'm not talking about mensuration. I'm talking about pure geometry like the hypotenuse and all. So if I saw one such question I would have probably kept it for the last. And another type of questions which I usually keep for the last would be questions which have say uh, the total number of solutions. uh, so take a look at Q31. Q31 you can directly put values and get an idea. So for example, just check like numbers from ranges which are not there. Okay, so for -3 to 3 you can take -2 because that doesn't fall on the other two in the ranges of the other three. So these are few tricks which you are already familiar with. So doing these questions first would be a good idea. Like question number 30, this is also an easy one, so I would do this one first. And question number 29 I would keep for the end, but I did finish question number 29, so I think it was not the hardest one, but I kept it for the end. And what pattern do you expect for cat 2021? I'm not sure even. How would I know? Like, I heard I am Indore hasn't disclosed the pattern yet, but they have put up a sample test, right? So I think you can get an idea about that. If you have any specific question about part of QA, I can answer. Like in this paper, I can't find any geometry question, but I remember leaving out a pure geometry question. I'm not sure which one was it. Last mile prep. Like if only 1 week is left, I wouldn't say prep much. For 1 week, you can go over the, say, for QA, going over a cheat sheet would be a good idea. If you had made notes, you can go through them for your weak areas. If you give a mock test, I think they give an analysis, right? Which parts you are weak in which parts you are strong in. So you can go take a look at those parts if you want. But last mile is 2020 will be difficult levels or 27. I don't know. It's better to ask the paper sitter from IIM Indore. But how does it matter if it's difficult, more difficult or less difficult? The thing is that everyone is facing the same level of difficulty, right? Because and if it's difficult for you, it would be difficult for the next person also. So the overall score would be less. Can you suggest how to tackle VRC section for most mark possible? Yeah, attempt all the questions if you can. That's it. And I think that's the only way, because a lot of times people don't give importance to VRC. They people don't give importance to VRC. It's the most underrated section in CAT. Try to attempt the whole of VRC. You would get the most marks. That's it. If you can finish it, it's really helpful. It pushes up your CAT score by a large part. For mocks, the thing is that I gave mocks very early. Like last year, I didn't give mocks, but in my mocks, my scores were around 90 percentile, 96, 95, around that. Uh, in actual cat scores, so what I found was like, if I'm scoring say 97 percentile or 98 percentile in my mock, I can. It's my opinion, but take it with a pinch of salt. The thing is that the people who usually score above you in mocks are the people who score above you in cat, because the people who give the mocks are the people who give cat. It's usually like that. There are a few people who don't give, but there's very less. Let's say that there are 120 people who are consistently above you in the mocks. You can make an assumption that if ceteris paribus, if all if else remains same, there would be around 120 people above you in cat also. So you can get an approximate percentile of you in cat if you perform the same level as you used to perform in mocks, and they perform the same as they used to perform in mocks. But obviously we know what happens on the D day, right? Everything changes. A lot of people can't perform well, and a lot of people perform really well. So let's say there are 200 people above you in the mocks. So if there are 300, you can assume that there are 400 people above you in the real cat. So you can get an idea of your approximate percentile if everything goes same. And how to select the right sets of LRDI and English passage. LRDI, as I said before, you can go for DI first, and for passages, I would say try to complete all. And good, starting with RC is good. As I said, you can check the video once. I have said it before. Accuracy is a problem if we attempt more in VRC. Yes, accuracy is a problem, but if you think about it, like summaries and all, you can do them accurately. Summaries are one of the easiest parts of VRC, and in case of RC, it's usually there are two options which are very close, and you have to choose between them. So one of the options is usually a bit more right, and one of the option usually has a flaw in it. You have to read it carefully to get the flaw. Any more questions? Or did you have a habit of reading on a daily basis? Yes, I did have a habit of reading on a daily basis. The thing is that reading a lot actually helps you not only for VRC but also for your interviews as well, and also in your day-to-day life. Also, it's useful, right? So, and did you face any accuracy problems in RCs in mocks? So, obviously, there were accuracy problems because I attempted almost 100%. I said I left out one question, so that would mean, and I got 80. So that means around say around seven or eight, six questions I would have gotten wrong, right? So yes, there was an accuracy problem, but I think that a lot of times it can be left up to the paper setters mood, or I mean thoughts, process, and what they were thinking. So that's it. And which topic should we target in quant? A quant, you go with your strengths. Quant is mostly class 9 and 10. So if you are familiar with what you learned in class 9 and 10 and you have forgotten some of the topics and you haven't recollected them in your cat prep, so I would say don't go for them. Like couldn't do some of the pure geometry problems. We used to call them riders in our school, and in cat I had always planned to keep them for the last, even if they were easier. Oh, I'm solved quite bad in the mocks, but to interrupt from this. If you're saying you're bad in mocks, does that mean that you're solving bad when you are pressured with, we have a time pressure behind you? I don't know. Like, it might be that the mock for the cat papers, did you time yourself while solving the cat papers? Like, the thing is that you don't have to worry about it. If you solve nicely in the cat papers, and you would probably do well this time also, right? Which mock test series you gave while preparing? So, as I said before, I didn't give any mock test series this year, but in my second year I had signed up for mock test series from three coaching centers: IMS, Time, and Career Launcher. And also I had signed up for CrackU, but I didn't give a lot of tests because at that time not many people gave CrackU tests, but now I think a lot of them give. The thing is that if a lot of people give the mock tests, then you would get an idea of your position, right? But if a lot of people don't give, so I would say go for the big three names, like Career Launcher, for the next, if you are attempting next year. But since it's only 1 week left, I don't think mocks would be of any help much now. And you don't have to worry about mocks a lot. Mocks are like practicing and going through the hoops. How much time would be given to puzzles practically before jumping to next question? uh, I would say, um, that's a tough question to answer. Like, if you feel like you can solve it, you can go for it. When you are solving a lot of LRDI in your practice, you tend to get a feel about the question, whether you would be able to solve it or not. But for a ballpark, if you have wasted, say, for 5 minutes and you're still 4 minutes or 3 minutes and still can't comprehend the question, then I think you should leave it. First, should I attempt RC or VA? That's up to you. As I mentioned before, I attempt RC first, and I attempted RC first. I didn't do PNC and probability. Please tell me, do you want me to complete the topic also? You can go through the cheat sheet for the next week, and there's 1 week left. I would say that don't try to start with a new topic just 1 week before, because in cat you might waste time, because if you haven't gotten the concepts properly, then you would feel that I can do this sum, but then you end up wasting time and not being able to do it. But I think PNC and probability is not that much comprehensive of a topic, so you can that's up to you. But I don't think for 1 week before cat you should go into all that. You can take a look at the cheat sheets. That would be of great help. How to handle stress of getting low marks in a particular section. SimCat VRC. If you get low marks in a particular section, try to up your game in the other two sections. Like I did, I scored very less in LRDI, right? Any advice to improve in quants? Uh, what can I say? I answered it before. You can check it out. Uh, Time cat papers. I'm able to score more. Acha, you use time cat paper, so then you won't have any problem, because when you are timing yourself and still scoring good, it might be that those mocks aren't up to you. Because in my time, I would see that for the reason I chose the three papers in my second year was that a lot of time I would see that some sections were harder in one company's mock tests compared to others. So that's why I gave three. So if you're doing well in timed cat papers, I don't think you should worry much about mocks and all. I'm reading rigorously for 1 to 2 hours and still a calm down, I would say, because if you're reading 1.5 to 2 hours daily, and the thing is that don't read just for the sake of VRC, read for the sake of increasing your knowledge of something. Uh, you get an idea of the world around you, right? So what's the point of if you only want to read for VRC? And for VRC scores, don't worry much about that 1 week before. uh, just keep calm and give your best in mock MCAT. My percentile is 85 indeed. uh, that's a tough question. Look, from mock percentile, mapping it to a real percentile is tough, as I said. For the top percentage, like for 97, 98, the only people above you are the people who are in cat. But for lesser, the thing is that a lot of people don't take cat coaching, but the people who scored in the top brackets usually take coaching at some institute or the other, in form of mock tests, not in form of say classroom, in form of mock tests. That's what I was meaning, what I meant to say when I said that you can get an approximate idea of your cat score. Suggestions for clearing cutoffs in quant section. See, the thing is that cutoffs are set by IIMs in an absolute number, say 80 percentile or 90 percentile. But you don't know how much you would score in the cat section, right? What I mean to say is, like, in 1 year, scoring, say, solving two caselets might be enough to get 80 percentile, while in some other year, if the paper is relatively easier, you need to score at least, I mean, you need to complete at least three I mean, you need to complete at least three cases to score above 80 percentile. So there's no fixed hard and fast benchmark which you have to set. Try to do as much as you can. That's the only thing I am saying. Try to do as much as you can, and if you aren't too strong, don't worry about it. Just hope that you have cleared the sectional percentile. For quant section also, do as many. Oh, the thing about quant section is there are a lot of easy questions for people who are not that well versed in quants. So if you can solve them, I think you would clear the quants cutoff. Chill. 1 day before cat, you always chill. 1 week before cat, I don't think you revising would do much. One day before cat is chill. Yeah, go watch a movie, talk to friends, anything. Yeah, being a non-ninja, that's no big deal. Like every year there in quants there are a lot of questions which are easy. So just solving those would clear the percentile, in my opinion. But try to do as many as you can. That's it. So I guess that's it. There are no more questions. It's 5:40. One, should we take 2 rounds? That's up to you. Said that one. I think that you can keep the tough questions for the last. So when you say encounter a tough question, you can skip over that. That's it. Or when you encounter a question which you're not familiar with, the topic which you have not revised that much, you can skip that and return to that later. Difference between 2 hour and 3 hour cat. I don't know. I've only even 3 hour cat. The thing is that this is only in time, right? Because other people would also be giving 2 hour cat. So that's it. Like the people who you are competing with, they are also facing the same issues as you. You have to remember that, because a cat is the percentiles and on, they are all relative, they are not absolute. So if you the person, if everyone scores less, you and you score less, that's not a big deal, right? And your paper item strategy, I answered it in the video at different points. Mostly it was attempt RC first, and then VA, and then DI, and then try to attempt LR, and then do as many QA as I can. QA, I attempted around say 25 questions, I think. Don't worry about that, like attempts and all. Try to attempt as many as you can. If it's a hard paper, others will also have trouble. So that's not nothing to worry about. So I guess that's it. Last moment tips. What can I say? Chill out for the last week. That's it. Mental condition during cat. Try to remain calm, and don't look at other people's screens. That's that demotivates you like hell. Like I looked at other people's screens on LRDI. I just took a look back and saw everyone on the everyone in the row behind me, and their screens were all green, 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 green. That hugely demotivated me. Mental condition, try to remain as calm as you can and don't worry about it much. LRDI, what do we do if we select wrong set on start? Give leave it as a sunk cost, stop worrying about it and focus on another set. If you select a wrong set, like you would know in about within 3 or 4 minutes you selected the wrong set. That's it. Don't worry about it too much. Do another set. That's it. What can I say more? Name cat mocking god. And you don't have to worry much about selecting the wrong set. If it's a tough paper, other people would also find it tough. It's not that it's only tough for you. So most of them would be doing something like that. And you have only wasted 3 minutes. That's less than 10% of the whole 40 minutes. Name cat mocking. I don't know that. You can try checking the composite scores. Okay, so I guess that's it. All the best. Don't worry much about scoring and all. What is your strategy for a V season? Did you attempt? Yes, I attempted para jump wells. I attempted parajumbles at the last because they don't have negative marking. So how many sets did you attempt it in LRDI? I answered it before, two sets. You have a target score like 15 plus. No, I didn't have any target score. I wanted to attempt as many as I can. No, I didn't have any target score. I tried to complete as much as I can. Target score would be 300, or in your case, it would be, I don't, what's the score this year? I don't know. In our time, the target score would be 300. That's it. Okay. Parajumbles, I kept it for the last because they don't have any negative marking. So if you are short on time, you can just do them quickly and not worry about negative one. Section wise percentile, I described it in the video. You can check it out. Okay, so I guess that's it. Uh, Good luck. Don't worry much. All the best. Thank you.